All right, we good? All right, hello. Um, this is actually the second take of this video. Um, it's, as you can see, it is 1:40. Oh, well, you can't see because my picture is in the way. But if I move this, you can see it's late as fuck. It's 1:45 in the morning. How do I get rid of this there? Yeah, so let me tell y'all how I spent my evening. I new microphone, by the way. How do I sound? I had a game of Dungeons and Dragons at 8 o'clock that I ran, and it was very enjoyable. But one of our players had to leave early, so I found myself with the night off. Largely, about 10 p.m. forward, I had the night off. And I decided I was going to use that free time because my computer's installing a game, and my horrible, horrible internet connection means that when I'm installing a game, I can't really do anything else on my computer. So I decided on my PlayStation I was going to watch a movie. And I scrolled for a little bit, watched a little bit of SpongeBob. That's always fun. And eventually, I settled on watching a movie I've been meaning to watch for a very long time. And that movie is... Look at that. Joker. You can see where I was about to upload the first take, and that didn't really work out. And I decided I wasn't happy with it. Yeah, I watched Joker for the first time. I haven't seen it before. And I have thoughts on it. That's why this is a video and not like me rambling in a Discord server or something. It's I have a lot of opinions about it. I have a lot of thoughts. And I'd like to have a place to kind of put them in one place. Yeah, my brain is not really working at this hour. Joker is a 2019 American psychological thriller film directed and produced by Todd Phillips. I'm going to put this out there right now. I'm not a DC person. I'm a Marvel person. So if at any point in this video I screw up Batman lore, screw you, I don't know what I'm talking about. Also, potential trigger warning, content warning, because there's some dark stuff in this movie. It's a movie that's very dark. So, what I liked, first, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good movie. It was not a great movie. It was good. I would not call it anything probably better than good. It felt a little like one of those movies that's trying really, really hard to win an Oscar, you know? I'm trying to think of another example of a movie like that. I can't think of any, but so the things I liked, right? I liked the I really liked the atmosphere of the movie. It was very, very gritty and very real. Generally, I was deeply uncomfortable the entire movie, and that is something that if a movie is able to make you consistently feel an emotion throughout it, I think that is something that generally works in its favor. If that emotion is disgust or some other horribly negative emotion, then maybe not. But I was very, very uncomfortable, and I was very, very I don't know how to describe it, really. I probably do. My brain just isn't able to come up with the words right now. It was an unsettling experience. It was an uncomfortable experience. It also did the thing really, really well that some movies do, where anytime there is a gun in the frame or in the scene, you just are on edge, right? Like, this whole movie, I think there were maybe 2 or 3 guns fired, but there was this one. It was the gun that Arthur, who, spoiler alert, he's the Joker. the one that Arthur had, he had it throughout most of the movie, and every time that gun came out, it just immediately put the scene on edge. If even if it were like an upbeat scene, like he was like dancing as a clown in like a children's hospital, and he drops his gun falls out of his costume onto the floor, and it's like, oh shit. You know. I thought that was really good. I thought that was really well done. The cinematography was good. The editing was good. The music was really, really good. And I saw here somewhere. Here, Best Original Score. I think that was probably well deserved. I can't remember all of the Best Picture nominees, or I can't remember all of the Oscar nominees from 2 years ago. So forgive me if I'm snubbing another movie that deserved it more. I liked some of the themes it had, some but not all. You know, people meme on it, but I liked the whole what do you get when you cross a mentally ill guy with a society that treats him like trash. You know, like his big speech at the end. It was a little corny, but it was fun, you know. So I don't want to like just take this whole video to gush about it, because I don't feel that's a very interesting conversation to have generally. So this might come across a little more of a critical view of a video than maybe I want it to be, because I did enjoy the movie. It was a good movie. One of the I mentioned that I liked some of the themes and not all of them. My main gripe with Joker is it had so many themes, it either couldn't nail down the theme it wanted to focus on, or it confused its themes in a way that made them easy to mix up. That might not be a sentence that meant anything, but let me elaborate. So, one of the themes of the movie was, like, mental illness was a big one. There was a scene, I mean, it was pretty early in the movie. That movie felt a lot longer than it was. It was a 2-hour runtime, and it felt like 3 hours, because it made you deeply uncomfortable the whole time. One of the themes was mental illness and coping with mental illness in particular. There was a scene where Arthur had written in like his joke journal or whatever, he wrote something to the effect of, the hardest part of mental illness is that everyone expects you to behave like you don't. Wait. The hardest part about having a mental illness is that everyone expects you to behave as if you don't. Gosh, saying that out loud makes a lot less sense. It made sense in the movie, right? And like, I thought that was, you know, it's a bit of a surface level take, right? But, you know, if they went somewhere interesting with it, I thought it could have been really interesting. And it just kind of got dropped, you know? It didn't get dropped, but like it didn't really get expanded on in any meaningful way. I mean, there was his big speech at the end about how society, like, if I got knocked down on the street and everyone would just walk past, and like, it felt like such a leap when there were so many other moving parts. It felt like a lot of the themes were just kind of dropped and then picked back up when it felt convenient, instead of just like focusing on this and building this out and actually telling an interesting message with that theme. Like, there was the kind of incel, if you will, thing. Like, he had a love interest that, love interest. So he meets this girl in an elevator, right, in his apartment building. And they like have a little moment, and then he kind of somehow deludes himself into thinking that they are in a relationship of some sort. He like hallucinates her being there when she isn't, and he basically towards the end of the movie discovers that, oh wow, okay, so I was actually deluding that, and now I'm in her apartment and she's like creeped the fuck out. And that was weird because like there was so much going on that there would come times where I was like, oh wait, this is a character. I still don't know her name. I don't think, if it did say her name, I forgot it. But like there was so much going on. There was drama with his mom, there was drama with his job, there was drama with him like killing these 3 guys on the subway. There was drama with like his failing comedy career. It's like there's so many moving parts that not enough time is given to any of them. So I took issue with that. Another thing I took issue with was the chalking up of pretty much all of Arthur's issues to, excuse me, don't know where that came from, to childhood trauma at the end of the day. I took issue with that because for one, it felt a little like it came out of nowhere, you know? I mean, it's the whole movie. I mean, Arthur has had these problems that, like, he has his, like, laughing disorder where he laughs at inappropriate times, and he's had a shit job, or a job, but with a shit boss, and he's had girl troubles, and he has a mom he has to take care of, and it felt a little bit reductive to then go back on all of these things that could be really interesting sources of grief or of trauma or of it felt really weird to go back on all of that and then have this scene in a mental institute or in a mental hospital where he gets his mom's file from like 30 years ago. It was like, oh, okay, really the problem is that I'm adopted and that my mom's boyfriend beat her and I up, and that felt a little maybe reductive isn't the right word, but I felt like there could have been really good criticisms. There could have been a criticism of capitalism. I mean, there's only so progressive you can get in Hollywood, but like, hey, he had a shit job. He was a clown. He's getting beat up by kids on the street, and he had a shit boss, and there could have been a really interesting critique there, and there just kind of wasn't. And there could have been a really interesting critique of, I mean, not to, you know, incel pill anybody. There could have been an interesting examination of the incel mindset, you know, with like his failure to get a girlfriend. Or there could have been a really interesting commentary on I don't know. It felt like it kind of foregoed. What is the past tense of forego? I don't know. It feels like it foregoes all of that in favor of trying to take this big amalgamation of, oh wow, there's all of these problems. And it encompasses a lot of problems, and I think that in a way that's kind of representative of the human experience. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in a life, in someone's life. But in encompassing all of them, it doesn't really manage to say anything about any of them. At least I don't think in any really meaningful way. I also, another thing I took issue with was really almost anything to do with the Waynes in this movie. Now, obviously, it's Joker, right? It's a DC movie. Joker is a Batman villain, for anyone who doesn't know. I think everyone knows that, though. And, they had to, they for whatever reason, I think they felt they had to include the Waynes in some capacity. And they do in a substantial capacity. I mean, there's a kind of a fake out where we're led to believe that Thomas Wayne, who's Bruce Wayne's father, is also Arthur's father. And then it gets hand-waved away as Arthur's mother's delusions of having been with Thomas Wayne. And there were a few scenes with Bruce as well, who Bruce Wayne, that's Batman, felt a little sequel baity. It felt a little bit like, okay, we're setting up yet another failed cinematic universe. Will my computer stop falling asleep while I'm talking, please? All right. I didn't like that, but another thing I really didn't like that really rubbed me the wrong way was, so I suppose I should preface this by saying that I am a leftist. I don't like fascism or fascists. In fact, I'd go as far as to consider myself an anti-fascist. So when I'm watching a movie like Joker, right, and I see protesters in the street, demonstrably anti-authoritarian protesters, and they're saying, they're holding up signs like Thomas Wayne equals fascist, or Wayne equals fascist, something to that effect. That draws a little line in my head, right, between Thomas Wayne and authoritarian / fascist. And so then watching the movie, right, and we see Wayne, we do see a more cynical side of him when Arthur confronts him in the bathroom at that theater, right? But at the end, we see what is very obviously meant from the movie to be the well, I mean, it's the scene where Bruce Wayne's parents get shot in the alley, right? And that's what motivates Bruce to eventually become Batman. It's not by the Joker himself, which I thought was interesting. From what I understand, that's supposed to actually be the Joker. But, and it's very obviously, it's portrayed in such a way that you're very much meant to see Wayne as the victim here. And the the protesters in the streets, the rioters as they're, smashing shit and causing a ruckus as the bad guys. And I mean, obviously the Joker is the bad guy. I mean, he's Joker, right? And I just don't know. It feels like such it feels like such a strange moral judgment to say, okay, the people who are protesting in the streets are the bad guys, and the guy who's being called a fascist and gets shot in the alley, the guy who's getting called a fascist gets shot in the alley and is the victim in all of this. That was really, I don't know, it felt weird to me. It rubbed me the wrong way. It was a good movie. I know I say all of this critical stuff, but it was a good movie. It was entertaining, and that's, I think, frankly, probably the first metric that I judge a movie on, is if I watch it and then I come out the other end having been entertained. I can watch a Star Wars prequel and come out the other end being mildly entertained. And it had a message. It had something it was trying to say that I think it did to mixed results. You should watch it. It's pretty good. Joaquin Phoenix was fantastic. So kudos to him. That's really all I've got for you. It's past 2 a.m. now, so I'm probably going to go to sleep now. But yeah, hey, if you like this video, subscribe if you're not already. Ring the bell, like the video. That's a thing you can do if you liked it, or dislike it if you didn't, because hey, guess what, Nazis who dislike bombed my super straight video? That gets me algorithm help too. Leave a comment, because I don't know what the fuck to make videos about. Yeah, so I'm much happier with this take. This is probably going to be the one that goes up on the channel. But yeah, take it easy.